Hey friends, what is up? Today I'm going to be sharing some lessons that I learned in the woods. If you're on this channel, then you probably already know that this is my second channel. On my main channel, I just uploaded a funny video about all the crazy stuff that happens when you close a show, and at the end of it I mentioned that I was contemplating making like a serious video, so this is the serious video. Welcome to the serious video. Let's get serious. Keep the Rapunzel flower crown. Also, I cut my hair at like 3 a.m. last night because when don't I do that? Anywho, let's talk about the things that I learned from being Rapunzel for 3 months. Well, 5 months, I guess, but performing as her for 3 months. Sometimes you have to play defense. I've always been the kind of person who's like, leave it all out on the stage, give it 110%, you always need to do the most. Like, don't chicken out, this is someone's first time seeing the show, they paid full price for a ticket, they deserve the show. And I'm still like that. However, that being said, this show kind of opened my eyes into why people in longer running shows do the things that they do. Especially growing up, whenever I'd see like a show on Broadway or a national tour or just like a good professional show that I loved, I'd always feel kind of sad and confused when I saw actors not giving 110%, maybe they were giving like 98 or 95. And I couldn't understand that. Like, why not just push yourself and do the full 100? Here's why. When you're doing something for like 4 or 5 performances, it's easy to give 110% every single time. But when you've done like 10 performances or 15 or 30, it's about making sure that you can still deliver your professional excellent level time and time again. And sometimes you need to play defense. And I think where I kind of learned that lesson the most is with my body, specifically my knees. I had this great fall push fight thing that I do with the witch, and it looked spectacular every night when I really went for it. But even though I was falling safely, sometimes your knee pads move, or, you know, it still takes a toll on your body. And every single night for 3 months, I gave it 110%, and I really shouldn't have. Not only were my knees bruised all the time, the one time that I forgot my knee pads, just in the middle of the run, I completely forgot. I'm still 100% paying the price for. I am covered in blood and scabs, and it's super cute. And I'm actually this is probably going to scar. This thing on my elbow, it's been there now for 3 months. I actually got hurt during tech week and it's still here, so I guess that counts as a scar. I don't know. One of the questions I got asked a lot was, isn't it boring to do the same show for 3 months, or how do you not, you know, let it feel repetitive? How do you keep from phoning it in? And the answer is to never stop listening. Each time you hear something, you're hearing it for the first time. You have to live in that moment, and not only will it make your performance better, it's a lot more fun if you actively are like, I'm gonna take a brand new journey every single night. I'm not gonna phone it in. Take pictures. Take so many pictures. I'm not someone who takes a lot of pictures, and I really changed that during the show. That was one of the things that I was like very actively trying to change, and I did so, and I am so happy. As you can see, my giant Polaroid photo wall behind me has grown quite a bit during the run, and it makes me so happy now walking into my room and seeing all of my friends up there. You don't necessarily have to take physical photos, but I just prefer them because like I always forget to print out photos, and you know, this is an immediate memory. Don't sweat the small stuff, especially if you can't control it. If something's in the past, if you botched a note in your last song, if your last joke didn't land, if an audience member is being rude or weird, don't worry about it because there's nothing that you can do about it now. That being said, if it's something that you do have control over, or something that you can work on to make sure that you won't have to deal with it in your next performance or your next show, audition, whatever, definitely work on it, because if you can change it, change it. There's a really famous saying, and I know I'm gonna botch it, but it's something to the effect of, give me the grace to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I love that saying, and that's very applicable to performing and just kind of this lifestyle that isn't super tethered or guaranteed. Every show is 20 times better if you make it a team effort. Be a generous performer. Give your scene partner what they need. Give them the focus. Set them up for that awesome punchline. Don't take it for yourself if it's not really meant for you. If everyone has each other's back, everyone makes each other look good, you don't have to worry about trying to make yourself look good. Find a balance and don't be a hermit. It is possible to still be your best and take care of yourself for a show while still enjoying the regular parts of life. It's really important to not be a hermit. Like, go out with your friends after a show. Of course, if you're sick or you really need the rest, don't go out. But if you can, like, go grab dinner with them. Don't let your entire life be consumed by your work. That's something that I just struggle with in general. I'm a workaholic, whether it is like performing stuff or YouTube stuff or school stuff. Like I have a tendency to just lock myself in my room and work. And while that's helpful when it comes to working and getting your work done, it's not super helpful when it comes to being like a well-rounded, happy human being. Going back to the being a generous performer thing, keep in mind that not everyone is as generous as you are. They might be selfish, and they might even be like, not even in an evil way, they just might not even realize that they're like stealing the spotlight from you, or they're like wrongfully trying to pull focus. And then there are people who are selfish in real life. Don't let people push you around. There is no need for you to be a martyr or in pain. Like, stick up for yourself. It's not mean to stick up for yourself, and that's something that I'm still struggling with. But basically, if someone treats you like garbage, don't endure it. Just like stop hanging out with them or stop being around them, you know? Also keep in mind that people are different from you. I was talking to my friend the other day and we were talking about this topic, and I don't really know a better way to phrase it than to just read it, so I'm just gonna read it. We expect people to react in a situation the same way we would act and get disappointed when they don't take the same consideration we do. People are all individuals, and not everyone is as sensitive and wonderful and kind as my friend that I was texting. And it's not in their automatic programming to look out for others the way that you do. It's not an excuse, but it brings me comfort and clarity, and I hope it does the same for you. Basically, I'm someone who like always tries to make sure that everyone feels involved and everyone's invited to everything, and like, let's walk slower so we can all walk together. And because I'm a little bit more quiet and a little bit more generous and like the first to offer, you know, whatever, people take advantage of that a lot. And I was always like, no, I'm going to remain unjaded and pure, and I am a kind Disney princess. And there's a difference. You can still be a Disney princess, but you can also be smart. Put goodness into the world, put kindness in, help others when you can, but know the line of when someone is taking advantage of that kindness. I don't know if I'm rambling a lot, but I felt like it was important to say that. Wigs, oh my gosh, use wigs if you have the option to. I've always been someone who's like, if you have a wig, let me wear the wig. It's so unreliable. Like, it's so much easier to style fake hair than your own hair. So yeah, bottom line, I am never using my real hair for a performance ever again. I think I'm going to go get a wig that looks very similar to my hair and just wear that on stage from now on. Go cheap. If it's something you're supplying yourself, go the budget option. Because here's the thing, when you're like 20 feet away from the nearest audience member, they can't tell if you're wearing designer foundation or drugstore foundation. If your skin works with either, go with the cheaper. Like, no one can tell the difference from that far away. And the most important thing I learned during this run is that if you're on the fence, say yes. Of course, if it's something like dangerous or something that like really scares you, don't say yes. But if it's something like, do you want to go hang out with some new friends, or do you want to walk to Starbucks on your break even though you don't want Starbucks, say yes. Go with people, make friends. When I started this show, I was so uncomfortable because I had literally 0 friends. I had one friend that I was doing the show with, but we were in different casts, and I just felt super out of place. Now, 3 months later, I have made some of the best friends in the entire world, and I'm so incredibly grateful that I did this show simply because I met those people, like life-changing people. And I know that we will continue to be friends even though the show is over, and even if we're not as close as we once were, I'm just so grateful for those memories and those experiences with those people, you know? I think that's kind of a good way to look at it too. But basically, say yes. Say yes to hanging out. Say yes to being open. Say yes to friends and art and taking chances. Again, if it's something like super scary or dangerous, or if your gut is like, maybe don't do that, then definitely don't do that. I'm someone who's very much an only child. Like, it's not the easiest for me to make friends. I've really only had a small group of close friends, and now I have like a large group of a lot of friends, and it's so nice and exciting to get to know people and to talk to people. Like, I've never had that thrill before. Now every time that I go to a party, I'm looking forward to like meeting someone new and being like, tell me about your life story. I love that now, and it's something that I never knew was in me, and it's so thrilling and exciting. So there you guys go. Those are some things that I learned during this run. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. Break a leg. That was out of order. I'm gonna go get lunch. Bye.